Professor Hulk. After Infinity War, Hulk refuses to come out after losing to Thanos. 5 years later, Banner stops trying to cure himself and instead experiments with merging the two. The result is a new form. Banner's intelligence and composure combined with Hulk's strength, known as Professor Hulk. Versus Gunn's Superman. This is the most emotionally vulnerable version of Superman yet. A hero who dives deep into his personal interior life and faces the internal struggle of balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing rather than simply showcasing his physical power. I'm the Shinin, and I'm here to analyze their power level, durability, and morality to uncover who would win in a one-on-one fight. In Avengers Infinity War movie, we never really saw how Bruce Banner became Professor Hulk. Marvel didn't give us the details of that transformation on screen, but in the comics, it's a whole different story. There's actually a detailed origin behind how Banner merged with the Hulks. I mean, literally two Hulks. And it's one of the most fascinating arcs in his history. All right, let's talk about one of the most complex chapters in Hulk's entire history. The creation of Professor Hulk. This wasn't just some random power-up or costume change. This was the result of years of character-driven storytelling. So here's how it all went down. Back in the late 80s, Banner's personalities were more divided than ever. At this point, the Hulk wasn't just one guy. He was three distinct personas locked inside one body. You had Bruce Banner himself, the timid, brilliant scientist. Then the Green Hulk, the savage, childlike powerhouse. And finally, the Gray Hulk, also known as Joe Fixit, the cunning, street-smart survivor. These three were constantly battling for control, and the reason for this split goes all the way back to Bruce's childhood. His father, Brian Banner, was abusive, so abusive that he actually murdered Bruce's mother. That trauma shattered Bruce's mind, and over the years, these Hulk personas became his coping mechanisms. The Savage Hulk was his bottled-up rage. Joe Fixit was the crafty survivor. And Banner, he was the fragile core trying to hold it all together. The real turning point came in The Incredible Hulk number 377 in 1991. At this point, Bruce was barely holding on, and his psychiatrist, the gamma-powered hero Doc Samson, stepped in with a bold plan. Dive into Banner's subconscious with the help of the Ringmaster's hypnosis. Inside Bruce's mindscape, it was chaos. Banner, Green Hulk, and Gray Hulk were trapped together, locked in a brutal struggle. But worse than that, they came face to face with the darkest part of Banner's psyche, the Guilt Hulk. This twisted manifestation of his abusive father was the living embodiment of all the pain, trauma, and guilt Bruce carried. And it didn't just haunt him, it attacked him. But here's where things changed forever. Instead of fighting separately, the three personas realized they couldn't survive divided. They had to merge. And when they did, the Hulk became something new. Enter the merged Hulk, or as fans know him best, Professor Hulk. This version combined everything: the raw power and size of the Green Hulk, the intelligence and scientific genius of Bruce Banner, and the street-smart cunning of Joe Fixit. It was the perfect blend. For the first time, Bruce wasn't at war with himself. He was whole. And one of the most powerful moments came right after, when he stood before Betty Ross and said, "Betty, it's me, all of me. You will get this big D tonight." If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for your support. Before we start, I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. No, scratch that. I'm furious. I am Hulk-level angry. The MCU took the single most powerful, rage-fueled character in their entire roster, the guy whose entire existence is based on the idea that the angrier he gets, the stronger he becomes. A literal walking, talking engine of destruction. And they made him into a punchline. And what did we get? A glorified opening act jobber. In Infinity War, Thanos beats him. Okay, fine. Thanos is the main villain. They need to establish his power. But the way he does it, It's over in seconds. Hulk gets a few punches in, and then Thanos just pummel smashes him into the ground. He's not even angry. No rage, no Hulk smash moment. He's just defeated. And what's worse, what's truly unforgivable, is that for the rest of the movie, Hulk is scared. The Hulk is scared. He won't come out. The very core of his being, the reason he exists, is completely negated because he got his ego bruised. Now, back to seeing positive things about Endgame Hulk. In Avengers Endgame, the Hulk we see is not the same rage-fueled beast we knew from the Avengers or Ragnarok. Instead, Marvel introduces us to something different. Professor Hulk, a fusion of Bruce Banner's brilliant mind and the Hulk's raw physical body. And this version of the character isn't just about smashing everything in sight, it's about purpose. Now let's talk about his strength, because this is where the debates usually start. Yes, Professor Hulk is still insanely strong. We see him casually holding up tons of rubble to save Rocket and Rhodey, and even flicking Chitauri away like they're nothing. But unlike the old Hulk, this power doesn't grow with anger. Gone are the days where his strength multiplied the matter he got. Instead, his strength seems more consistent. He's always strong, but no longer unlimited. And here's the catch. We don't get a full-on brawl between Hulk and Thanos. That fight never happens. Instead, the movie pivots, showing us a different side of his power. Durability. The kind of resilience that no other Avenger has. Because when it comes time to wield the Infinity Gauntlet, a weapon that can kill gods, titans, and even someone like Thor, only Hulk can step up. Why? Gamma radiation. He literally says, "It's like I was made for this." And he's right. This is where Endgame redefines Hulk's role. He's not the strongest Avenger because he can punch the hardest anymore. He's the strongest because he can take the kind of damage that would annihilate anyone else and still survive. Snapping half the universe back into existence nearly burns his entire arm off, but he lives through it. And that feat alone might just be his greatest display of power in the MCU. James Gunn's Superman 2025 isn't just your standard cape and tights reboot. Nah, this one flips the Man of Steel's entire legacy on its head with a twist that's got fans arguing across every corner of the internet. So instead of rehashing Baby Kal-El's rocket ride, Smallville days, and the whole learning to fly montage, this movie drops us straight into the action. Superman's already the guy, flying around, saving people, and writing headlines at the Daily Planet. Pretty standard, right? But here's the kicker. The real origin story sneaks in through a damaged holographic message from Krypton, left behind by his parents, Jor-El and Lara. Now at first, Superman only hears the classic version. You know it. You were sent here to inspire hope, to survive Krypton's destruction, to guide humanity. It's the speech we've all heard a million times, the very thing that shaped Clark into the symbol of hope we know and love. But then Lex Luthor, of course it's Lex, drops the bombshell. He uncovers the full message and broadcasts it to the world. And the truth? Yo, it's dark. Turns out Jor-El and Lara weren't just saving their son, they were sending him as a conqueror. They literally call humanity a flawed race, meant to be ruled by Kal-El. Their plan wasn't about hope, it was about domination. This revelation shatters Superman's identity. Think about it. His whole life he believed he was living up to his parents' dream. Now he learns their dream was basically world domination. The movie shifts into a full-on psychological war. Kryptonian destiny versus human upbringing. And here's where Gunn nails it. The story isn't about Superman's powers or his alien heritage. It's about his choices. He chooses the values the Kents raised him with. Kindness, compassion, justice. He decides to be a hero not because of where he came from, but because of who he wants to be. That right there, that's the rebellion. Against his parents' dark legacy. Against the cynical, gritty takes we've seen a million times. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for your support. Among all the heroes in DC, Superman has always been the top dog, the icon of pure, raw power. Back in the early comics, this dude was insane. Writers just kept cranking him up. Time travel, lifting planets, even sneezing away solar systems. Basically, the guy was untouchable. But James Gunn? He's not going that route. Gunn straight up said he doesn't want his Superman to be this overpowered god where nothing matters. Instead, he's dialing it back, making him younger, more vulnerable, and honestly, way more relatable. This Superman isn't starting at max level. He's still growing, still figuring himself out. And because of that, there are actual stakes. Other heroes matter. Fights feel real. Now let's talk powers because they're still stacked. The classic Kryptonian package. When you hear Superman, you think god-tier powers, right? Strength, speed, flight, heat vision, freeze breath, X-ray vision, super hearing, the whole shebang. But here's the thing. In the DC universe, that's not actually unique to him. On their home planet of Krypton, Kryptonians were just regular people. Scientists, soldiers, politicians, nothing too crazy. But the moment they step under a yellow sun, their biology flips the switch. Suddenly, their cells turn into living solar batteries, soaking up energy and unlocking all those insane abilities. So yeah, Superman isn't special because he has these powers. He's special because of what he does with them. Any Kryptonian under a yellow sun could be a powerhouse. But Clark Kent? He's the one who became Earth's greatest hero. While he's the most powerful physical force on the planet, more powerful than any normal human, any metahuman, Superman is just insanely strong. We're talking billions of tons, lifted and carried like it's nothing. The guy's caught falling skyscrapers like they're toy blocks. And in one scene, he casually stops a giant kaiju's foot from crushing a dog, didn't even break a sweat. And when it came to throwing hands, every single punch was a statement. He staggered that massive kaiju with ease, one-shotted entire squads of Raptor soldiers, and went blow for blow with Ultraman, a guy who was supposed to be just as strong. Even Lex admitted Superman might actually be stronger. But it's not just strength. Superman's durability is next level. His body is insanely dense, reinforced by this supercharged electromagnetic aura that makes him nearly untouchable. Most things don't even scratch him. Only beings on his level, or kryptonite, can really put him down. But here's the kicker. The sun. Superman is a living solar battery. The second he's injured, sunlight basically reboots him, healing him almost instantly. And even without being at full strength, the feats are wild. He tanked the pull of a black hole. He literally swam through an anti-proton river that would shred a human instantly. That's how durable he is. Now speed? Forget about it. Superman's not just fast, he's supersonic. He can cross the globe in seconds, blitz through battlefields before enemies can even blink, dodge high-speed strikes, and close gaps in milliseconds. And when he wants to, heat vision and freeze breath come into play. He's creative with them too, burning through entire squads at once, or even using freeze breath to counter the pull of a black hole. And while he doesn't have formal martial arts training, Superman's fighting style is deadly efficient. It's all about overwhelming force, pinpoint accuracy, and insane adaptability. He rarely ever goes all out, but that's the thing. He doesn't need to. Most fights end before they even begin. And when he does slow down mid-fight, it's not because he's struggling. It's because he's stopping to save the people around him. All right, let's dive into this. Endgame's Professor Hulk versus James Gunn's Superman. We'll go category by category, powers, durability, morality, and finally, to uncover who would win in a one-on-one fight. 1. Power level. First up, Professor Hulk. This guy is a powerhouse, insanely strong, holding up collapsing buildings, swatting aliens like they're nothing. But here's the catch. Unlike the classic Rage Hulk, his strength is static. He doesn't get stronger the angrier he gets, which means he's capped at a certain level. On the other side, we've got Superman, DCU, James Gunn's version. Even toned down, his raw stats leave Hulk in the dust. We're talking skyscraper-lifting, kaiju-wrestling, and casually wiping out armies. And unlike Hulk, Superman brings versatility. Flight, heat vision, freeze breath, speed, X-ray vision, super hearing. He's a Swiss Army knife of powers. Edge, Superman. Hulk is strong, no doubt, but Clark's strength and versatility are on another level. 2. Durability. Professor Hulk's claim to fame? Tanking the Infinity Stones. That's still one of the craziest durability feats in the MCU. Slower healing than comic Hulk, sure, but he can eat punishment no other Avenger could survive. But Superman? Whole different league. His Kryptonian biology plus solar energy aura makes him basically cosmic armor. Black holes, nukes, anti-proton rivers, planetary-level forces, all things he's walked away from. And the cherry on top? The sun heals him fast. Even if Hulk does land a serious hit, Clark just shrugs it off. Edge. Superman. Hulk's durability is top tier for the MCU, but Superman operates on a cosmic scale. Lastly, morality. Here's where things get interesting. Professor Hulk is calm, rational, and restrained. No more blind rage. That means he thinks before smashing, but it also means he doesn't fight as ruthlessly as his old self. Superman, though, is famous for his restraint. He never cuts loose unless he absolutely has to. Against Hulk, that might give Bruce a little more breathing room, but let's be real. If Clark decides Hulk is a genuine threat, he stops holding back. Edge, Superman, both are moral heroes, both hold back. But Superman's ceiling is just way higher. With all this, winner, James Gunn's Superman.